Area of trapezoids is section 8.6. A trapezoid, remember, is two parallel sides, but the other two sides are not parallel. Okay, so then you have two bases. You've got base 1 and base 2. This one is base 1, this one is base 2. And again, the distance between those two bases is the height. Here we've got, suppose that you have two congruent trapezoids with base 1 and base 2. Basically, you are averaging those bases or adding them together, and then you're multiplying times h. So the formula is that you take 1/2, you take the average of the two bases, meaning you add them together and divide by 2, but then you're taking that times the height. Okay, so then you're taking the average of the two bases times the height, which of course they put the h in between, which is fine. You've put 1/2 h times b1 plus b2. So that is the formula for the area of a trapezoid. Find the area of a trapezoid. In this case, we have area. Always write down the formula first. 1/2 times h times b1 plus b2. Area equals 1/2 times 5 times 6 plus 8. And again, we always want to do what's inside the parentheses first. So I have 1/2 times 5 times 14. Now I can switch these if I want. So I end up with 1/2 times 14 times 5. The reason I like to do that is because I can take 1/2 of 14 first and get 7. So that's 7 times 5, which is 35. And of course, inches squared. Okay, so let's have you try these, and then I'll go over them to see how you do. Pause the video, and I'll see you in a minute. Okay, welcome back. We've got the area is equal to 1/2 times h times b1 plus b2. Again, always write the formula down. Then fill in the formula. 1/2 of 7 times 7 plus 11. We end up with 1/2 times 7 times 18, which is 7 times 9, because I multiply the half times 18 instead of multiplying it times 7, which is 63 meters squared. The middle one, we have 1/2 times 14 times 16 plus 10. Half of 14 is 7. 16 plus 10 is 26. 7 times 26 is 182, I believe. Let's make sure. 7 times 6 is 42. 4 plus 14 is 18, so 182 feet squared. Putting a box around the answers is always nice. Cleans it up a little bit. All right, in this case we have, I'll do this in a different pen so we can see it better. We have 1/2 of 5 times 8 plus 12, which is 1/2 of 5 times 20. If I want to, I can multiply 5 times 20 first and get 100, and then you multiply that times 1/2 and you get 50 centimeters squared. Okay, it says here find the value of the second base. If you know the area is 96, so one area is equal to 1/2 times the height times b1 plus b2. So 96 is equal to 1/2 times the height times 9 plus b2. So here's how you do this. You set up the formula just like you normally would, but this time you're going to solve for B2. What I like to do first, before anything, is I multiply both sides by 2. That cancels out the 1/2. So this ends up to be 192 equals 8 times 9 plus B2. Now there's 2 ways of doing this. You can either divide by 8 to this side and then subtract 9, or you can distribute the 8 and then subtract and divide. Okay, if I divide first, I get rid of 8 by dividing by 8. 192 divided by 8, 8 goes into there twice. Let's see, in the 19 twice, that's 32, so 24. So 24 equals 9 plus B2 minus 9 minus 9. I end up with 15 equals B2. 15 what? And that would be meters. 15 meters, which makes sense. And you can always double check your answer by plugging in 9, 15, 8, and see if that equals 96 when you're done. Okay, try that. We will go over those in just a second. Okay, welcome back. We've got here 77 is equal to 1/2 times h times 8 plus 14. This time they don't give you the height. I still am going to multiply by 2 here. I get 154 equals h times, and I can go ahead and add these together. I get 22. Now I divide by 22. So h is equal to, 22 goes into there 7 times, 7 feet. Okay. Number 5, we're looking for B1. So 39 equals 1/2 times 6 times 8 plus B1. Multiply by 2, I get 78 equals 6 times 8 plus B1. Divide by 6 goes into there, let's see, 6 goes in there once, 13 times 8 plus B1. So B1 is equal to 5 centimeters. I'll do the number 6 down below. I get 84 is equal to 1/2 times 8 times 13 plus B2. Again, multiply by 2 to both sides. I get 168 equals 8 times 13 plus B2. Divide by 8. Goes in there 21 times. Minus 13, I get 8. So B2 is equal to 8. Okay, let's do this bottom one. A trapezoid has an area of 294 square yards. So 294 equals, its height is 14. So 1/2 of 14. The length of one base is 30. We don't know what the other one is, so 30 plus B. Again, I can multiply this actually first rather than multiplying by 2, which is 7. I could actually distribute next, which would give me 294 equals 210 plus 7b. If I do that instead, I will subtract 210. I get 84 equals 7b, so b is equal to 12. 12 yards. Don't forget to label your answers. And that's it for section 8-6.